Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LRS GT Championship of the test season here at the LRS. We're now at round 12 out of 15. 4 more races to go, including this one, the Silverstone race. We go into the UK, and we're gonna see who is going to win over there. But currently, let's take a look at the results so far. As we have MTL first, Intoxicated in second, after MTL took the lead after Buffers, and is currently running away with it. Intoxicated did win at Spain, but MTL is still leading. But Intoxicated is not that far. In fact, 2 points. Meaning that if MTL does not have a good Silverstone race, Intoxicated could snatch it away right there from MTL. But these two are currently in their league of their own. They're in a battle of their own. But either way, third is in the third position we have Blue. Blue the Demon has been driving fantastically. Won the race at Spa, or not Spa, at Monza, excuse me. He won the race at Monza and took himself a win right there. Next up, we also have JKR, who has been on the podium multiple occasions, but has not seen victory lane yet. But he is 4 points away from taking away third spot from Blue. So those two are also in a battle of their own. Then behind JKR, we have 30 points lower, or like 25 points lower. We have Shiny in fifth. Shiny has also been doing very well in the championship. Got herself on podium on multiple occasions, and it was actually on podium at the Nordschleife race. Then behind Shiny in the sixth place, we have Ricky with 44 points. Actually could take away the lead from Shiny depending on how well the rest of the racers are going. Ellie in seventh with 40 points, doing pretty well. And behind Ellie is Jim Fuego, 1 point down with 39, and has also been doing a very, very solid run at the races. Danny Alistair got himself on podium multiple occasions, but not enough to really set himself out. Violet Sky then finishing off the top 10 in 10th. Of course, we have Arc at the bottom 10, leading that section of the bottom 10. Renachi behind, but those ones are not as common to see up front as usual. And the bottom 5 still do not have points at all, making that currently the standings here at the LRS GT series, as we are about to go into the race. There's also been some testing going on for the Rally Series, and Stock Car will soon also start. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to do all of test seasons in every category. When that goes well, we're going to continue on Stock Car, and then Legends 1, and then we're going to start all the other series with Season 1, including Stock Car, which will also be considered Season 1, although it's Season 6, but we'll call it Season 1. Purely so it's all in line with everything else. But yes, we will be starting the LRS races in a bit. But we already have a chunk of the drivers from the LRS Rally Series. We already have their vehicles ready. Everything has already been prepared for them. And also, afterwards, what we are thinking of doing for LRS in general is add an option to own teams and also host or also manage drivers in a team. Make it a, a very, very competitive situation where we have multiple drivers all going against each other and also representing different teams, different cars. and all that shebang. We're about to take a look as the drivers getting ready in the wrong dashboard. Here we go. Let's had to do this real quick. Taking a look at Slaughter, the first one to come out of the pits out of all drivers. Slaughter still with 0 points under her name. Not a really good time. Intoxicated also coming out of the pits. Also getting ready to do a run here at Silverstone. Silverstone is not a very unknown place in the LRS series. In fact, the first it was a test season. In the test season, the Pro Series did a test or did an off-grid race at Silverstone. And I think it was also the first one that we did in Silverstone. But the test season did do Silverstone as their off-grid Grand Prix or the off-grid showdown. And it went super well. Silverstone is a super fun track to look at. And afterwards, we are about to go to America, and we're going to go to Laguna Seca, which is going to be our next spot. Afterwards, after Laguna Seca, we're going to Suzuka in Japan, and then we're going to go back to the US and finish off the season with Road Atlanta. And that's where we will see who is going to be the champion of the test season. As we are looking at the driver who could possibly take away that championship from everyone else and become the test season champion, none other than MTL himself, who has been making this entire championship him only, getting a total of 8 wins under his name already. It's incredible. He went on a 4 streak, won the first race, third race, lost one, and then lost the Monza race, came back above first, and now is going to try to go for another win. As we have Slaughter about to start her lap. We also are looking at MTL about to start his lap. As Intoxicated also gets ready. Of course, these two, both MTL and Intoxicated, they've been duking it out. They've been fighting with tooth and nail through the entire season. It has really been a McLaren versus Porsche situation. And, well, the McLaren is doing incredibly well, but so is the Porsche. And I'm not talking about the drivers. I'm talking about, like, the cars itself. Of course, Violet Sky being very common, being a very common name to see in the top 10. Oh, well, not very, but like a pretty common name to see in the top 10. McLarens, of course, you got Blue the Demon also driving a McLaren, but also MTL. And of course, Intoxicated and Violet Sky both driving a Porsche. Been very known to be in the top 10. And of course, Intoxicated and MTL being known for being the winners. And also, do not forget the Mercedes, since the Mercedes cars are also very common in the top 10. Mostly common in the podiums, in fact. JKR has been on the podium a bunch of times, so did Denny Allister. The same story for Shiny also. That's one of the only Lamborghinis, along with Ellie. Ellie also has been at the top 3 before in the podiums. And also Ricky, also been on the podium, I think a couple times, but I might be wrong. As all the other drivers are all getting ready, we just need to wait for Extasia and another driver behind, which is... I can identify who. No, it's not Slolnod. I cannot remember. I'm looking at the list. I'm trying to figure out who is behind and who still needs to do the run. Well, JKR. I think it was JKR who still needed to do his run. And Kanzi is the one I was missing. Yep, Kanzi. Oh no, Kanzi already. Huh? Who's doing it? I don't know. I think it's Renacci. No, Renacci is not. As we're looking at Slaughter cross the line with a 2:08, 3:01, making that the time for the qualifiers here to break. As immediately Intoxicated blows the entire field away with a 2:04, 2:84. Renacci immediately in second. Ellie now in third. Renacci with a 2:06, 6:87, and immediately Ricky breaking that. pushing Renacci to third and Ellie out of the top 3. And now Blue also intervening, now pushing Renacci out of the top 3. As Blue gets a 205, 325, and Ricky gets a 206, 361. Making that your top 3 so far. As immediately, also looking at Demi also about to, and also Smoke Hero getting ready to finish their runs and see where they could place their vehicles. Kansi in 5th now. MTL in 3rd with a 205, 401. And Intoxicated had a very, very superior run right there. But I assume that Intoxicated had no traffic to begin with, as opposed to usual. So taking a look at Violet Sky, currently in 6th with a run of 206, 494. For pole position still being held by the other Porsche. As Danny Allister is in 4th. Currently the top 5 being, well, when you still need to wait for JKR and another driver to come over the finish line and see where they will put their vehicles. So looking at the pole sitter so far. For the 204, 284, 288. According to the thingy. As JKR puts his vehicle in 4th place, pushing Denny, or pushing Ricky out of the top 5 and pushing Denny into 5th spot. The Dutchman putting the Mercedes very close to the podium. Metro was the one I forgot. And now that everyone has crossed the line and also finished their lap, Intoxicated improving his run, going from a 480 or go from 204, 288 to 204, 240, 245. As currently we are looking at other drivers about to cross the line, or no, they're at the old pit stop and now about to go into cops. Blue also trying to increase his run, really close to Intoxicated now. But what I was gonna say was the current top 10 so far is oh wow, it just changed. Current top 10, Kansi in 10th, Vernacci in 9th, Violet Sky in 8th, Shiny in 7th, Ricky in 6th, Danny in 5th, Jake in 4th, MTL in 3rd, Blue in 2nd, and Intoxicated at the top spot. Taking a look at the driver who just snatched away that 10th spot from Jimmy Fuego, his own teammate, also known as Kanzi, about to start his lap here at his home place. He's on home soil here today. It would be nice if he could get himself a podium, or if Blue could get himself a podium. Or Smoker could get himself a point. At least all the 3 British drivers get themselves onto the top spot. That will be fantastic to see. I wouldn't already say top spot lockout, but like, it is possible. It is possible. I'm not gonna break that. I'm not gonna break that. I'm not gonna let that fantasy go. That sounds like a crazy thing to have. So we have Jimmy Fuego right here, currently out of the top 10, got pushed out by his own teammate Kanzi, driving the Mercedes AMG GT3 with the Buckshot Bros Vintage.com Mercedes. So we have less than 6 minutes remaining. We are looking at MTL currently in 3rd as Intoxicated goes into the pits. MTL, the race or the championship leader, currently having a bit of an issue trying to get to the top spot. But I wouldn't be surprised if the man does not really try to go for a fastest lap right now, and he would rather do the talk during the racing rather than doing the talk during qualifying. Which, if that is the case, that is very genius from the guy. We are taking a look at Kanzi also trying to do a proper run here. But I go into the pits. Maybe lack of fuel. Yeah, definitely a lack of fuel. Jesus, 6 liters left. Cannot do anything with that. But the rally, what I was talking about before, the rally series, we are soon about to start that too, and that might be after the LRS GT test season. We'll do the LRS rally season, which won't see as many drivers. Like we won't have a full grid like we do here with LRS GT, which surprisingly has so many people joining in. It's incredible that so many people want to do sports car racing, and now people are going to do also do rally racing. After the LRS GT, we're going to do LRS Formula, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue the stock car series, but now in season 3 we're gonna combine M and Pro and put them together. But the races such as Laguna Seca Legends and the LRS GT Challenge, those will still count, but we'll do separate races for those. And that's because of actually no. We'll still do M Pro and all that shebang. It's a bit harder to do. It's way longer to do, but I would rather keep the whole new thingy at the end of Legend 1. And then at the end of Legend 2, or Legend Endurance 2, we're going to start doing teams. So we might see Arc drive, or Arc own a team and drive with that team. Or we'll see, for example, we'll see Smoke Hero own a team, or Smoke Hero drive for a team. As currently there's only 2 teams, like 2 official teams in the LRS series, as Phantom Motorsports and Ackerman Motorsports. But there's like, we would like to see absolute like motorsport battles, as I will also count the points for motorsport. So I'll also count points for the motorsports teams. So we'll also have a manufacturer, a team champion too. So not only driver champion, but also team champion, meaning that, we'll possibly see, let's say if JKR and Intoxicated both come together and Intoxicated signs for Ackerman Motorsports. If Intoxicated now gets, let's say, MTL teams up with another driver, like I'll say Demi, and JKR sends an Intoxicated, that means JKR and Intoxicated will be champion in team manners. So they'll get a team championship. And of course, in that situation, let's say MTL does become first at the end, then that means MTL, MTL. Well, MTL is already leading the championship, but let's say he wins everything. He's then pretty much the champion. He's pretty much the LRS champion, or the LRS GT champion, the driver champion. And then we also have Ackerman Motorsports being the team champion. So that's pretty much how it goes. And that's what we are planning to do. Of course, we'll have drivers. Drivers could make teams if they have more than 5 seasons of experience. So if they have been around for 5 seasons or more, they could start a team, as they will have a slight bit of experience. And of course, they have to choose a brand to drive in the series. So for example, with Rally, they have to choose between Volkswagen, Peugeot, Hyundai, Toyota, Citroen, or what else? Ford, those 6. Or they have to resort to another vehicle. Or, that's pretty much how it goes. And that's the same thing for GT, where drivers could choose to drive for either, they could, for GT, if you want to have a GT-based team while also running a Formula team. Formula does not matter, because everyone will be driving the same car. Everyone drives the Minardi. But for GT, for example, you have to choose between Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini, what else? BMW. There's another one. Nissan. I had to think real quick. But yeah, those 7. You have to choose between those. And then you will get, then both the drivers will get into that. But also there will be backup drivers. So for example, you could sign drivers who are not in the series, but you could have them as backup drivers. So let's say one of the drivers, you want to have them drive for a whole season. So let's say MTL becomes a leader. Let's say MTL becomes a team leader, and he wants to have, like, for example, Danny Allister in his team, but he also wants he's gonna get Danny Allister as his teammate, and so him and Danny Allister will drive a GT. But let's say also going to get Shiny. Now that means he could either choose Danny Allister for 1 season, or he could choose Shiny for 1 season. Meaning that the drivers could be randomized, or the drivers could be one of the two, and then the backup driver will, of course, like, chill for the remaining season, or they could go into a different sport. But what the manager could also do is make both the drivers he hired, both the second driver and the backup driver, he could make them race too, but he won't be able to race. Which I don't know why you would, but sure. Because there's the Nordschleife race, which is one of the LRS crowns. There's the Daytona finale, there's the Ghost of Akina challenge, and also the Brazil finale. And also Legends Endurance. Well, Legends Endurance, if you win, you're supposed to be there. But yeah, pretty much that. Like, why would you say no to that? But yes, as qualifying is about to be finished, we're taking a look at the drivers all coming over and crossing the line. Making it Intoxicated, Blue the Demon, MTL, JKR, and Danny Allister, your top 5 here at Silverstone. As we are about to get ready, and we're going to be racing for 10 laps here at Silverstone. Oh, lots of pushing, lots of pulling. Lots of vehicles trying to make room, trying to find ways. Demi overtake a stalling up, but stalling up immediately snatching that spot away. Intoxicated still leading. Taking a look at Ricky right here. Oh, he gets really close right there. JKR and Denny, both of the Mercedes almost contacted right there. No driver been beached so far. So it's good so far. It's all right. And now Rick is gonna go for an overtake on Shiny onto the straight. Had to break that a little bit. Thought that Shiny would possibly swerve in. And now he's gonna try to go for the move. Oh, look at that. Beautiful attempt right there. Beautiful attempt. And Blue the Demon leading the race here. Oh, MTL went a bit on the grass there. Now both of the Mercedes are gonna try to swoop in. Did not really work, and now they're going to back out. Coming over to Cops. Here comes Danny Allister. Gets ahead of MTL. And Shiny also trying to make a move at JKR. And Shiny ahead of JKR. Pushing the Dutchman out of the top 5. But they're still side to side. Now JKR has the advantage over here at Beckett's. Oh, Ricky possibly might make it free wide. Shiny just fucking knocked the shit out of that goddamn stick over there. Hopefully that thing will not roll on the track. That'll be very devastating for one of them to drive and a spin out. That will be horrifying. Though that will be kind of funny. As we are about to go into lap 2, Blue the Demon leading the race by a big margin, making his people really proud here. Beautiful, beautiful moves right here from the Brit. Kanzi in 10th, trying to get ahead of Renacci, but is kind of struggling to get the pace and really get onto the tail of the 44. Meanwhile, he's also getting a bit of pressure from his teammate, who also tries to get into the top 10 after he took the top 10 away from him during the qualifying session. Ark trying to make a move of Smoke Hero, gets ahead of the Brit. And now onto the straight. Now Smoke Hero and Ark are side to side. Smoke Hero faster on the straight. But Ark could also make moves here and there. Swerves left and right. Ooh, bit dangerous, don't you think? God. Smoke Hero also immediately getting ahead of Artie. And Blake Izayoy in dead last. Far off the pace so far. Looking at Slana still on 17th. Ooh. That looked like Ark getting a bit on the grass. Now Demi's going to try to swoop in and take the spot away from him. I keep thinking that's the finish line. We're going to the next lap, but no. That's the old start finish line. Constantly really trying to get ahead of Reina again, but it's just not working for the Brit. He could do the move here, however, but he has to play it smart. He has to think of when could I do it. He's extremely close, however. So he could possibly make a move at any second at the time, but he needs to time it perfectly. And I feel like he is trying to time it perfectly so he could shake off. Though, well, not really shake off Reina, but also lose Reina at the same time in that single overtake. Which, if that is the case, is very, very smart from the Brit as they're about to go into lap 3. And so is Artichoke. Currently in 14th with 0 points under his name. Constantly getting fairly close. Now Metro trying to get on the inside here. Side to side with Anastasia. Cuts it deep into the inside and now is ahead of the Mexican. Or is he? No, he is not. He immediately loses his spot after Anastasia is fighting with a lot of pressure here from both Metro and Slaughternaut. But, you know, look at JKR still behind Shiny. As Blue is already really far ahead of the pack. He could run away with this one. And he's going to make the fight for JKR even more difficult. As Blue will possibly get himself a race win. But also possibly a fastest lap and get himself 11 points. But not really a grand slam at his home circuit. But he could definitely get a total of 11 points, which is still more than good. And get himself even further away from JKR and securing himself that 3rd spot. While JKR is going to deal with the 4th. But that should not be an entire mood killer. In fact, it should be a bit of a motivation for next time. So, yeah, just keep your head up and just keep going, because for JKR, it's still a really good season. Of course, got onto the top 3. Got in 3rd place for a super long while. I think he was 2nd also in the beginning of the season. He was 2nd, and then decided to do a or no, he did not decide. He got into a sort of like battle with Blue, and Blue won that battle by a sheer amount. Well, not a sheer amount, but by a fair amount. And now JKR could really not do anything about the fact that Blue is currently leading by the big chunk. So far, he is currently leading with a big amount of lead. But yeah, JKR at least is still in the top 5, so he should be proud of that. As we are taking a look at Blake Izayoy all the way in last. Very unfortunate for the Canadian. Just did not have a fantastic season so far. But hopefully next season will be a bit better for the Canadian. Shiny now in 4th after Denny got overtaken by the Lamborghini, which I did not even see, I'll be honest with you. It's now Sloan's last, and Blake is 19th. Taking a look at 5th to 2nd is all Americans, and they just have a Brit and a Dutchman at the top and bottom. Stacia getting ahead of Demi in a beautiful manner. Beautiful overtake right there from the 71. Saw the gap, took the gap, and both of the drivers respected each other's space. So good driving on both on their end. Beautiful overtake. Fantastic movement right there. We're taking a look at Jake here right now behind Denny Allister. Now tries to go for an overtake. Goes on the inside, and he saw that gap. He saw that gap as bright as daylight, and he took it by a storm. Beautiful move, and now JKR's in the top 5, making Denny Allister's day not that good. Jimmy Fuego still behind Kanzi. He is trying to go for an overtake, but just Kanzi is placing his car at the perfect locations, making it a bit harder for the 32. As both of them are about to go into lap 6, we are also looking at Renacci in 9th, and Ellie trying to get her Lamborghini into the top 10. JKR now trying to hunt down the number 1. Look at the speed and look at the distance he is getting onto the Lamborghini. As both the Lamborghini and Mercedes are so far from the from the 3rd place McLaren. Very, very far away from them. Now Stacia getting into 15th spot. It tried to turn it into a 14th of it, trying to overtake Smoke Hero at Cops, and he definitely does it. But I think he's side to side right now with the Brit. Yes, he is. Now has the advantage over here. Smoke Hero now has the advantage, and he decided to back out. And now Jimmy Fuego. I think he got the green light from Conti and is now going to overtake the Brit and try to overtake Reina himself. As Blue is already going into lap 7. Kanzi now all that he has to do is hold Ellie back and make sure that Jimmy Fuego can possibly overtake Reina. And I feel like if Jimmy cannot overtake Reina, he's gonna overtake Jimmy again. As JKR, currently in 4th place, overtook Shiny, which was not shown on TV, sadly. But JKR already overtaken Shiny right there. Ricky in 7th, a really good result for the Ferrari driver, who has been into a lot of controversial situations from time to time, but he's not going to let that circle his head on the racetrack. In fact, he's going to circle the vehicle on the racetrack. He's going to do laps around Silverstone and possibly get himself higher than 7th, or just stick with a 7th spot. Taking a look at the bottom 5. Well, the bottom 5, I would say, from 14th to 19th. Or from 15th to 19th, sorry. It's Smokero, it is Ari, it is Demi, Metro, and Blake. All trying to battle with each other. As Ricky is now dealing with Danny Allister. The Mercedes ahead of him. He's going to try to do a move here and there, but he cannot seem to find a way to get ahead of the Mercedes. About to go into lap 8. Blue the Demon already leading by a big margin. JKR is losing Shiny and is now going onto the podium and possibly make MTL's situation even worse, as he's going to do the ultimate team move and try to take MTL's spot away and hope that Intoxicated could possibly get himself into the podium, making it a Trash Gang 2 free. But it depends on how fast JKR is going to be on this race here. As we're looking at Ellie still in 12th, while Kazi in 11th, and Jimmy in the top 10. And JKR with the fastest time. Holy Christ. Okay, that man is pushing like a mofo right now. He's pushing like an absolute maniac. Getting himself a 205, 805. I think that's like... No, that's not the fastest that we have seen around Silverstone. It's still 204 from Intoxicated during quali. But JKR doing a 205, 805, getting himself the fastest lap. He is pushing and playing the ultimate team game by getting ahead of, or getting close to MTL and try to overtake him. Ricky close to overtaking. And Blake still 19th. Wow. Beautiful sunset here in the UK. But the headlights are not on as we're already going into lap 9. Of course, Blue running away with the win right here. But JKR is closer and closer to MTL. Taking a look at Ark, duking it out with Ellie. Almost made contact with the Brazilian right there. He is on Ellie's tail. What the fuck is up with that? Tire marks, what happened? Ricky's still trying to find a way to get ahead of Danny Allister. He's been really struggling to do so. And now JKR really close to MTL. He could go for an overtake soon. As Blue's about to cross the line, we're about to wave white flag. 1 more lap to go here at Silverstone. We have Blue in first, we have Intoxicated in second, MTL in third, JK in fourth, and Shiny in fifth. That is your top 5 here at Silverstone. It's getting pretty dark here as the sun is of course setting, but there's no headlights being turned on yet. But I feel like at the... Oh, that's Kanzi who spun! Stops the vehicle and just ends his race in a super, extremely unfortunate way. Ends the race this way. This is not good for the 7. He has been going through heavy shit over the season, and especially over the latter half of the season. He's been going through a lot, and he beached his Ferrari on the side of the road. Had to be sent back to the pits, and that is not a way you really want to end the race. Oi, 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 that is terrible right there for the Brit right there. As the sun is setting and the headlights are turning on, we are about to be racing in the dark for the last half of the lap. Ellie trying to get ahead of Arc, but she cannot really get her a way to get ahead. As Blue about to go over into the last chicane here. As we are waving the black and white checkered flag. The Brit, the number 25 for Vanda Motorsports team, Blue the Demon, he wins on home soil. Intoxicated in second, MTL still in third, but JKR put up a good pressure against MTL. Shiny coming home in fifth, making that your top 5 here at Silverstone. Ricky did overtake Danny Allister, got himself into 6th, and Danny about to cross the line in 7th. Violet Sky also about to enter the finish line in 8th. Renacci in 9th, and Jamie Fuego, unfortunately without his teammate, coming home in 10th, making it your top 10 here at the Silverstone race. As Arc, unfortunately, yet again, does not meet the points margin. Barena, however, got herself 2 points, making that a bit of a bigger lead against Arc. Already about to cross the line in 13th, Fixation in 14th, Smoke Hero also joining in on 15th. And Slana coming over in last. Kanzi unfortunately did not finish the race. Very unfortunate for the Brit. As we are about to wait for the results of that race. Blue the Demon getting himself his 2nd win in the LRS series. As the results are coming in. Intoxicated taking the lead again with a total of 110 points. And MTL in 2nd with 109, making that Intoxicated the current championship leader. About to head into Laguna Seca next. As currently we have Intoxicated in 1st with 110 points, 1 point away. So he needs to keep staying ahead of MTL if he really wants to win this season. MTL in 2nd with 109, Blue in 3rd with 88, excuse me. JKR in 4th with 81, and Shiny with 55, making that a almost a 30-point gap between the 4th and 5th. Of course, we also have Danny Allister with 41, but Ricky 8 points ahead. in sixth with 49 points, and Danny Alves in seventh. Ellie and Jimmy Fuego both tied with 40, and Violet Sky 10 points under. And for the bottom, still nobody at the bottom 5 scored points, but the bottom 10. However, Reina is leading that bottom section. Kansi still with 3 points. Very unfortunate for the Brit after that devastating ending at Silverstone. As we are about to go next to Laguna Seca, we're gonna find out who is going to be the winner at the infamous American racetrack with none other than the classic Corkscrew. So until then, we'll see.